Is trucking a dead-end career? Is it a bad career decision? Some people would say that it is. Some people will say that it's not. But for me, we're going to go into detail on this. That way, if someone is looking to get into trucking, they can make the best decision possible. For the past 2 years and a half, I've been at CR England. I kind of became their influencer. I didn't always have the best things to say about the company. Obviously, they got a lot of bad press here on YouTube and on the Google reviews. So I was doing a lot of videos with CR England because that's when I started vlogging. So I think I got enough experience to really speak on this topic. Because the truth about trucking is this: it doesn't matter if you've been in there 10 years, 2 years, probably after a year, you get to learn the industry. You're always learning new things. You never stop learning. But as far as learning how ruthless and cutthroat and just how bad truck drivers get treated, you learn that really quick, especially when you start with a mega carrier. And now that I recently got, not laid off, sent home because I didn't study my pre-trip, and there's another video that I did about that. It was for another company, not CR England. I've been at home applying for jobs, and it has me thinking, is conventional trucking even what I should do or what we should be doing as people that are looking to get CDLs or who have CDLs? Is conventional trucking worth it? And I got my thoughts. The number one reason why people quit trucking and why they feel it's a dead-end job is because it just doesn't pay that much money for the most part. You do have companies out there that pay a lot, but the problem is everybody wants to go to those jobs. I had to take a phone call, but everybody wants those high-paying jobs, which is a small minority of the trucking industry. For example, everybody wants to work for Walmart Private Fleet because the other companies, probably about 90% of the trucking jobs out there, they just don't pay that much. As far as dry van, refrigeration, the conventional truck driver does not make that much money anymore. It doesn't matter whether they're an owner-operator, especially them, or a company driver. Conventional trucking, when you really break down how much time you spend on the job, they don't make a lot of money. A lot of them are probably pulling in less than minimum wage. So fuel, local jobs, everybody wants to go local. So that market of applicants is flooded because nobody wants to do over the road. Not a lot of people want to go across the country unless if they're new drivers, because experienced drivers, they figure it out soon that those jobs just don't pay. Instead of paying drivers hourly like they should, you should be paid for when you're at work. Just like any other job, trucking companies like to beat around the bush when it comes to paying their drivers. They like to do the cents per mile, where you only get paid for your drive time. In that case, you might as well just go be an Uber driver. At least you could be home every day. And in some markets, you could probably make more as an Uber driver than as a truck driver, as crazy as that sounds. They'll also do this thing like percentage pay. Say the trucking company is getting paid $1,500 for a load from A to B. You're going to get a small percentage of that. 30% is good, but most of the time it's less than that. So you're not making much on percentage pay. And when it comes to those two pay structures, CPM and percentage pay, sometimes you got to fight with your dispatch to get stop pay, detention, layover. They should just pay you hourly, because if not, you got to send in macros on when I got here, when I left, how long the shipper or the receiver held me up. So I need
God damn it! God fucking damn it!
And you're going to need signatures to get your detention pay. All of this, what does that tell you? They'd rather not pay you the detention. They'd rather you just sit there for free. And sometimes, like the company I was working for, the first 2 hours that you're sitting on the dock, whether you're getting loaded or unloaded at a store, warehouse, wherever, those first 2 hours you give it away for free. Now, what other job do you know where you clock in and the first 2 hours are for free? Not even in the trucking industry. The dispatchers don't even deal with that. The people in the office, they get paid per hour. But you, the truck driver who's making the company all the money and who's literally keeping the lights on, you're the bulk of the income when it comes to a trucking job. You, the truck driver, give away 2 hours for free sometimes. And then if you want to get paid past that, you pretty much got to fight with your dispatch to get it. That's why a lot of people leave trucking, because of the pay. These trucking companies, they just don't want to pay their truck drivers. They want the asset, but they don't want to pay for it.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
Another way that trucking companies get away with not paying their truck drivers is this hours of service that the ATA mandated, that they went to Washington and lobbied for and got because they paid off politicians pretty much. Companies like the one I was working for, CR England, Swift, Knight, Werner, all the big ones, where As a new driver, you're probably going to have to start with, and that's where you learn how cutthroat it is. They got this thing where you need to do a 10-hour sleeper berth and get off of the road once you've maxed out your 11-hour or 14-hour clock, right? If you want to learn about hours of service, you can Google it. I'm not getting into that right now. But you should be paid. If you're away from home and you're still on the job, you should be paid, even for your sleeper berth, but they don't pay you because it is off duty. You're not on the job, even though they want you to stay with the truck, but they're not going to pay you for it. So you're giving away free time, dude. And like I said, wait times, if you're waiting on your dispatch to give you a load, that should be paid, but it can be considered a break, even if you're on duty. Even if, like I said, you're waiting at the shipper or the receiver and you're on duty and you're getting your trailer loaded, it should be by the hour, but that too can be considered a break. So you usually don't get paid for that. If your truck breaks down, some companies will pay you, most of them won't. This is why people want to go to the high paying jobs that pay for more, because like I said, the bulk of the trucking industry does not pay their drivers for layover, detention, breakdown, and they got this thing called personal conveyance, where you're supposed to be able to, like if you're not under a load, you're supposed to be able to go to Walmart or a grocery store and stock up on food that you need for the truck, especially if you're over the road or regional because you're away from home. So you need some food. And a lot of trucking companies are taking that away. So to run to the grocery store, you're going to have to run on your hours of service clock, taking away money that you could be making. They don't want to do personal conveyance because it's pretty much a cost to them that they have to eat up as a company. That's fuel that you're burning that's not under a load. They don't want to pay that. But maybe this should be automated. As crazy as this sounds, is this something that the average person should be doing? This time that I've had off work and I'm applying at jobs, which mainly are local. I got an interview with Walmart Private Fleet, but it has me thinking, even Walmart Private Fleet, you can make a lot of money there because they pay the most. Like I said, everybody wants to go to Walmart. If not that, everybody wants a local fueling job, maybe intermodal, something where they're home every day. So the hours of service kind of makes sense because when you're off the clock, you get to go home instead of laying over in the truck somewhere for free and not getting paid for it. It had me thinking, would trucking just be better off with AI to where we can all go do something else? I don't know. I seriously don't know. Because most truck drivers complain about the pay.
They put you in a truck with another student, and so you have to split the miles, you have to split the actual pay as well.
Like, am I tripping? I was averaging like $500 a week. I made more doing nothing and training than I was doing actually driving, working. I didn't understand it.
The mileage rate, the cents per mile that they start you out at is not that good. It was like 45 cents, 46 cents.
They market like it's something really attractive, but when you really find out how it works and you know that cents per mile you're splitting it, it was something pretty low, like 30 something cents.
I started doing OTR. I'm doing runs Vegas, Utah, California, Arizona. I'm making no money.
Many owner-operators now are homeless. They cannot afford to have a home.
812, I got 675. 819, I got 432.
This is my home. I live with my truck, whether I stay in a hotel or I sleep sitting up in the driver's seat.
10-7, I got 632. And 10-14, I got 492.
And the trucking companies, they don't want to pay the driver more. And a lot of the reason is not just because they're corrupt and they want to screw over the driver, which a lot of them do, especially the big companies that have the means to do so. But these smaller companies that people say that you should go work for, the cost of business is so high on maintenance, diesel, all the permits. Changing a tire could be like $300 or $400, and you got so many tires on a tractor trailer. That money that could be going to the driver, it's going to maintenance, it's going to taxes, it's going to fuel, it's going to everything except for the truck driver. Something else that's going on is a lot of the smaller trucking companies and even some of the medium and big size carriers are starting to push this lease purchase program onto the drivers because they don't want to eat up the cost of, like I said, the maintenance, the tires, the permitting, the fuel. They'd rather just take a percentage off of the top and give the truck driver maybe the bulk of the load. Who knows? Maybe the truck driver's still getting screwed over. Sometimes it's still company driver pay, But this time, if you're lease purchase, you, the driver, you, right? Because you think you're like an owner operator, even though you're just a glorified employee, you, with that company driver pay, for the most part, get to pay for the tires, the fuel, the permitting, the maintenance. Oh, they'll help you out a little bit, right? You could probably use their shop, but you're going to be flipping the bill because the freight rates are so low right now. They want to pass it on to you, the driver. That's happening right now. So it's getting to a point where if you're a trucking company, your own employees, your truck drivers, your company drivers are getting way too expensive. And then again, is trucking worth it? Being an owner operator, that's definitely not worth it, especially if you're lease purchase. Your cost of business is way too high. Like I said before, you would literally make way more money doing a landscaping business, running a food truck, but being an owner operator, tractor trailer, Class A driver, most of them are going out of business. And like I said, these mega carriers, they want to pass that cost off to the driver and call them an owner operator. And most of them will go out of business. They'll go bankrupt. So is this an industry worth getting into? I still think it is. For this reason right here. Like I said, I applied for Waste Management. It's one of the biggest like garbage companies here in California, in the Bay Area. They're up and down the state, but they're real heavy up here in the Bay Area and other states too. It's union. You get, I think they even have like pensions, the benefits, stock options, not to mention you make a lot of money. Their pay structure, because they're union, you're gonna make a lot of money, dude. More money, you'll make more money as a trash man, right? It's Class B, but I believe your Class A covers a Class B because it's a CDL. It's like the highest CDL that you can get. And you don't need a hazmat. You don't need to drive manuals. No, it's just a garbage truck and you'll make a lot of money. More than a semi-truck driver, as crazy as that sounds. I believe a truck driver has a job that's, especially if you're doing tankers, more dangerous than just the local trash man. But that trash man, he's making more money than truck drivers on the highway. So you have to ask yourself, you need the experience, because these jobs that pay a lot of money, you need to get your experience somewhere. But what I'm saying is trucking worth it for the long run? Is it worth it for the long run? Because you have to ask yourself this. When you sleep in the truck, even at Walmart private fleet, if you're going to go that route, where everyone wants to work at Walmart because the trucking industry is so bad, so everyone's kind of running to Daddy Walmart.
Daddy!
Shh. Daddy's here, Dougie. Shh. Dougie. Shh. Dougie.
If you're going to be living in the truck 5-6 days a week when you're at work, right? You get off work and you're still at work. Now let's think about a whole career doing that. 30 years. You know how much life you missed out on? Your life. I'm talking about simple things, being able to get off work, go home, and call over some girl and have wine and a dinner. Hold on. Well, yeah, stuff like that too. Being able to come home, walk the dogs, go on dates, hang out with your family, go down to the liquor store that you could probably walk to, go to the grocery store without having to use personal conveyance, or because you're laid over at a truck stop in the middle of nowhere, like Iowa 80. You miss out on so much life when you're a truck driver and you're living in the truck. And I've seen it. There's truck drivers out there who have mental health issues, who have social anxiety because they've been isolated in their truck and they start believing all these crazy conspiracy theories. We have seen some truck driver serial killers out there. I'm willing to bet a lot of that, it's mental health. A lot of that comes from just being isolated in your truck because you're not living a normal life for money. While, like I said, the garbage truck driver is making way more money than most tractor trailer drivers out there on the highway, and he gets to go home every night. He or she gets to go home every night and be with family, live a normal life, walk the dog, take a karate class after work. But no, you, the truck driver, and a lot of people get into trucking because they see dollar signs, right? You, the truck driver who's trying to build generational wealth, which is something that I hear a lot, especially on YouTube from new truck drivers.
Me, I care more about changing my family's financial, or I want to create generational wealth for my family. I want to do that for my wife.
6 months later!
And it really sucks. I really think that we are entering a recession. Definitely the trucking industry is in a recession.
They get into this line of work and they think because they're running so hard that they're going to make this much money and they're going to invest. Just a few years later, a lot of them get hit with the same reality, like, I'm not making generational wealth. I'm probably making less than minimum wage. And then everyone wants to go local and get paid by the hour because they realize that a lot of truck drivers just get screwed over, right? How you like them apples? Look, the reason why the trucking industry is so bad, if you ask me, is because the trucking industry is not unionized. Now, this is probably the reason why construction went union with like the bulk of its jobs, right? There are a lot of non-union construction companies out there, but the big ones, especially the ones where they're working in downtown San Francisco, New York, they're building the new Apple campus, road work, those jobs are, for the most part, unionized. Unions come into a place of work for a reason, when the workers are being mistreated. And that's all trucking is. It's a group of workers in the United States that are being mistreated, and for some reason, a lot of them aren't unionizing. You have a few jobs like UPS, Yellow, which shut down or whatever, but for the most part, I think all of the mega carriers are not unionized. And the drivers just get abused. If you ask me, that's why trucking might not be worth it, conventional trucking. Now, you can make a lot of money with the CDL. CDL is definitely worth getting, which means you're going to probably have to work at some of these mega carriers and go through the grind for about a year if you want to be a CDL holder at PG&E, East Bay Mud, where else, Waste Management, a garbage company, where, yeah, you're going to drive a garbage truck or a piece of equipment, road work, construction companies, where they have big trucks with a bunch of axles and they need someone with the CDL, but also with experience because their insurance isn't going to cover someone who's fresh out of the CR England trucking school with no experience. You're going to have to get your experience somewhere. If you ask me, trucking, conventional trucking, should be used to get your experience, but honestly, and maybe even at Walmart Private Fleet, which you'll make a lot of money. But like I said, you're going to miss out on a lot of life. I just don't know. Now that I'm not truck driving, I've been out of it for maybe about 2.5 weeks now. I don't know if it's something that I really want to do. I'm thinking maybe like my old job at the lumberyard, they got tractor trailers, and their competitor up the street in Berkeley, they got tractor trailers for deliveries, Waste Management, being a garbage truck driver, working construction and moving equipment around. I'm thinking maybe that's the way to go, because truck drivers just get mistreated and they're not getting paid. And I mean, if you know this is going on and you stay in that industry, should you even complain? If you know that it's like this, unless if you guys are going to unionize, but is it even worth complaining? If you're staying with the girl who's cheating on you, I mean, how long are you going to stay with her until people start calling you Sneeko or Adam 22 and you're just like some cuckold or whatever? Is that what truck drivers are doing? I mean, I'm not calling people cuckolds, but it's self-abuse, right? If you're in a line of work that's not working out, don't stay in it, dude. Do something else. Seriously. Is trucking worth it? Conventional trucking? I really don't think it is. I just really don't think it is. Maybe it's a good thing that it's going to get, modernized and turn into AI and there's going to be no more drivers. We won't have to worry about it. Because think about this. Like I said, you miss out on a lot of your life. And just imagine if you have kids. If you have kids, there's truck drivers out there that have a lot of kids and barely see them. For money, there's other things that you can do. There's handyman guys right here on YouTube that sometimes they're making over $2,000 a day being a handyman. I'm sure that goes up and down. But I'm willing to bet the self-employed construction worker, handyman guy is making way more money than an owner-operator. Even an owner-operator who might have a few trucks, because those trucks break down, the freight rates are in the dumps. Not to mention if, you can get sued. So if you're not making money and you get sued, the next thing is you just go bankrupt, I guess. It's bad, bro, I'm telling you. And then let's talk about health. When you live in a truck, you don't have access to a kitchen, which means you don't have access to clean food all the time. If you cook in your truck, do you have a sink and a dishwasher in your truck? If you do, good on you. But for someone who's working at Schneider, they don't have a sink or a dishwasher in their truck. So you got this pan that's just nasty. I've seen people cleaning out coffee mugs in Love's, but I haven't seen someone take a whole pan, where they just cook some egg breakfast or whatever, or potatoes, and scrubbing out their little pot and pan right there in Love's. Dude, that would be crazy. I've never seen that. Maybe I've heard of people doing that in the showers, like taking, they put all their pots and pans in their big old shower bag, and they're using the shower to do their dishes, dude. But come on now, no. Obesity, diabetes, I'm willing to bet even cancer. Just, dude, trucking is probably one of the most unhealthiest jobs you can do, dude, because for the most part, you're right there at Love's, at Pilot, TA. You're eating Wendy's and Subway. I mean, you could do healthy eating Subway or whatever, but dude, you're not really going to be healthy if you're a truck driver like that. You could do the best you can, but you do better just living at home and maybe not being a conventional truck driver. That's something you have to consider. From what I've noticed, I've done this a lot in my life. When I put health on the back burner for wealth, for money, it never works out. It never works out, dude. Trust me. So yeah, that's my rant. It's something to think about. If you're getting your CDL, like I've been thinking now since I've been at the house and I've been applying at jobs and I've been living normal life, I'm thinking, man, is trucking still worth it? I mean, these past 2.5 years, I've gotten my experience. I've gotten what I've needed out of it. And now I feel like maybe I'm ready to move on. Like, I'm still going to do a job that requires me to have a CDL because I'm not going to let my training go to waste. And you could, like I said, you can make a lot of money with a CDL, dude. But I'm thinking maybe I'm going to go with like waste management, PG&E. I might go with Walmart. I got an interview with them in about 2 days. But who knows? Even when I'm with them, I still might be applying at local jobs, East Bay Mud, something where I can make a lot of money with my CDL. So with that being said, it's something to think about. I just wanted to touch on this topic real quick. A lot of people think they're going to get, rich, build generational wealth, passive income as a truck driver. And for some people that happens. I'm willing to bet for people who have support, right? Like you see a lot of the Middle Eastern cats. A lot of those folks, they got a whole family behind them, right? Which is good. You know what I mean? They help invest in each other. But hey, sometimes a lot of them go out of business too. I mean, no one is an exception to the rule right now, dude. Owner-operators are going out of business. Trucking companies are going out of business, dude. Left and right. Look at Convoy. Look at Yellow. And if you want to go down, smaller operations, owner-operators, dude, the list would be long of people who went out of business this year, dude. So building generational wealth in trucking right now, honestly, like I know you're a new truck driver and you think you're going to become Jeff Bezos with your CDL, but it's probably not going to happen, to keep it real. You're probably just going to get your experience and then go get a local job, and that's where you're going to make money. So with that being said, be sure to smash the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel. Peace out. Thank you for watching.